Hey there, Stampers, and welcome to another Stampin' Up video. This is my favorite kind of Stampin' Up card. It's very simple. Anyone can do this card, and the step 1 card looks as good, and I love it, just as it is. And this is the step 2, and step 3, excuse me. And they all look as good as the next one, and I love them all. So this is always my favorite, simple and really pretty. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm using a Whisper White card base. It is 8.5 by 5.5, folded at 4 1/4 to make the standard A2 card base. The level 1 card, the step 1 card, I'm using the In Color Patterns stack designer series paper, and it's a level 1 Hostess. I have selected this a couple of times, and I really enjoy using it. And they're 6 by 6, so sometimes I end up using different patterns because I run out. But anyway, so I just want to show you, and I'll try to stick to it as easily, stick to the original card as closely as I can. So it's just a designer series paper layered on the Whisper White card base, a crumb cake. I think this is 2.5 by 3.5, and then just a smidge more for the crumb cake. And then we're going to stamp our image. And I'm using from Celebrations, this year's Celebrations, Bliss. And we're going to use this and this one. And I'm using Concord Crush. I don't have the stamp pad, so I'm using my marker. I did buy the In Color markers this year. I often will buy markers first and then decide if I will use it enough to need the ink pad. And I think this marker, it looks different than the ink, and so I was kind of put off by it at first, so don't let that dissuade you. It's a really lovely purple. I love purple, and I always like purple and green together, but I resisted adding pear or celery to this. But you know, you could use it with any of the In Colors and get lovely results. So that is this flourish thingy, and then we're just going to stamp it on here. Try to center it and get good contact. Yay. And really, that's it to this card. You do need to stamp the little cutie butterfly. You're going to fussy cut that butterfly out. And this will be the same for all 3 step cards. This is all the stamping you're doing. And you will need to fussy cut our little butterfly out. But due to time constraints, I won't cut it out all the way. So you're just going to stamp him. Her, him, her, genderless butterfly. And then you're just going to cut it out. You want to take your time and do a really nice job. Not like I'm doing. This will just give you the idea. So you're going to adhere everything down, and then at the last minute you can see how nicely I cut this little butterfly out, not like this one. And then you'll just plop it down in the center, and that's your level 1 card. Level 2 isn't a whole lot different. I did use a different paper, but you don't have to. And then I added another one to the bottom, you can see. And then I did what I've been doing all week, the ruched ribbon. I wanted to show you, I don't know if you can see it, maybe on the purple you can. This is white taffeta. I make a knot in the bottom, and then I cut a point in the ribbon, and then you just start removing the horizontal threads, so you're exposing the vertical threads. And if you are able to, you just grab one of these vertical threads, and then you start ruching. I usually can't quite do it, so I cut about halfway to the vertical. So I'm really just exposing one and not grabbing a bunch, because the more you grab, the harder it is to ruche. And then you just get it started. There's the one thread. And you start pulling it. Once this gets long enough, I start wrapping my finger with it so it's easier. So you can see it's not difficult at all. It just takes a minute to get started, and then you just keep working the ribbon down till you can have it really ruched, or you can have a soft gather, however you like it. I kind of go in the medium, because the tighter it's going to use more ribbon, and it's going to bunch more. So you can do it really loose, or you can just pull it to a nice medium gather. And then you're going to secure this down, tie another little bow, and there you would have your level 2. Exact same thing we did for level 1. Is this making sense? I'm not doing all those little straps on. So here we go. Adhere it down. Attach the ribbon, the ruched ribbon, to the place where the two cardstock, the designer series paper meets. You're going to trim like that, and you're going to use a glue dot to put that down. You're going to put your image down with your butterfly in the center, and that's your level 2 card. Level 3, I did a little bit more. I sort of switched it around. I did add a crumb mat to the designer series paper, so a very thin mat. And then I added, instead of just a little, you can see on the level 2, I extended this one a little bit more, so that I wanted to do more with, I used a bigger ribbon, so I wanted the image to be able to sit over it comfortably. I also ruched this, and it's the same process. You would cut a piece of the ribbon. You're going to tie a knot in the base, and that's so that the vertical thread you're pulling doesn't pull all the way through. Sometimes I untie it after I've ruched it, so it adheres less lumpy bumpy at the back of the card. And then you're going to cut to a tip, and then you start removing the horizontal threads to expose the vertical threads. So it's the same process. I won't go through the whole thing, but you can see you start to expose the threads, and then you just pull one and you ruche it. And what I wanted to show you on this one is I used a lot of the basic rhinestones. And so I kind of looked to the size of the placement of it to determine the size of the rhinestone that I was going to use. And then down here I used the largest rhinestone, then the medium one, and then the smaller one on both sides to kind of give it a graduated look. I used the largest here, a medium here, and then small ones on all the rest. And I just kind of looked at the image to see where I'd place it, and you can see. And instead of putting the butterfly in the center, since I bejazzled the butterfly, I just put it off to the side so it would, you know, draw a little interest and balance out where I'm putting the rhinestones here. And then on final detail, I just did do a little sewing, and it helps keep the ruched ribbon down too. So I ruched the ribbon, put it down, did the sewing, then I adhered this with dimensionals, added the bow with a glue dot, and added all my little rhinestone details. So I love these cards this week. It's really simple and really beautiful. This would be lovely for a wedding or an anniversary, a get well, a birthday, thinking of you. I love these all occasion cards that are really pretty. Even a Mother's Day. That would be pretty. So I hope you found this helpful, and soon. You have a great week, and thanks for stopping by.